Hey, what's up, family? This is MC Fire. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video yesterday. and Today, we're gonna be looking at some trading, particularly what the markets do during the day. Now that we got some news on said tariffs with a nasty rally from yesterday. Supposedly, it was supposed to be tariffs were paused. You could do a blanket 90-day pause on tariffs, but come to find out, then they came out and said, no, that's not true. And then today, um, or yesterday, I should say, Wednesday, they did come out and say there's going to be a 90-day pause on some countries, um, almost all but China, right? It really, essentially, is China catching the heat here. So the market saw an insane rally of like 13% of the stock market there, which is insane. It's kind of pulling back from highs there, probably some profit taking or whatever, what have you. But if this is true, and the news board is going to be kind of essential, that'll be sweet. In looking at in plays, you're pretty much going to guess everything is on the board, pretty much. So going through the in plays is kind of going to be analysis paralysis at this point. What I would say though is if you had to prioritize, I would focus on uh, the ones that are on the day, like have a day squeeze. They are going to be the most prepped to explode potentially if they haven't already shot out of that cannon already. Apologize. It is really early over here. You East Coast guys got an advantage. So gotta wake up early. Risky for that biscuit. So stuff like this. Duke Energy did see a pretty decent fall. And then what you get now is a nice little squeeze here. And then some potential offside candles. You could get those if it breaks high. Not a lot of meat on that bone though. So watch out for that. There's an apple. There's some apple there. So looking pretty juicy watching that outsized candle. But I really want to bring to the front of the classroom too. Does the system really work? Well, the system works very, very well when you consider the meta behind the system. If something's selling, right? If you don't even break the previous high of that candle, don't expect to see a rally. But if let's say for here, negative, opens down here, crosses the high, right? So there are your buyers down here, which we were one of those buyers even at the low. When you consider what we were buying, then you get a negative slap, and then by then you break it again. So these orders, right, that have been placed here, now they get washed. This candle and this candle are clearly off sides. You got gap risk that doesn't close until yesterday, Wednesday, essentially. And yeah, so kind of really moving and punching almost to the 8 period moving average on the weekly, right? We did take some buys. We thought it'd be good to stack some portfolio stuff. SCHD didn't really get the best buy in there. Probably could have got it for way lower from when we were buying. We got Amazon, some good Amazon over the week. What else did we get that was just absolutely great? I think it's Google. Google or Google. Yeah, we got some Google and Google. We just average in and buy into Google one way or the other. There, Oxy, we got a potential. We got a what's it called? A butterfly on Oxy. It's our way of justifying, buying late and limiting a risk to reward here. So, or still calibrating for a risk to reward that's worth our time. So Oxy, not too bad, not too bad at all. Um, that's pretty much the juice of it. We'll go over here and take a look at the ES. Uh, so overall, the market's going to be dead. It's down right now 2% as of right now this morning, which is to be expected. The reason why it's expected is because you don't just get a massive rally like this without some profit taking. Number one. Number two, negotiations still have to be had. So just the news is pretty much the rumor, and the market likes to buy rumors and sell news. Until we get news, right, that actually there is going to be some um, market capitulation as regards to tariffs, right? There's not going to be a major trade war other than with U.S. and China, because I think most of the countries have voiced that hey, we at least want to negotiate with you if you feel like you're being treated unfairly. Uh, I don't know about Canada and Mexico. I think those tensions are a little bit still higher. Mexico is kind of salty about potential proposed strikes on the cartel. They don't like that. And then I think Canada has vowed that, hey, we are going to reciprocate tariffs since you picked on us first, kind of deal. Uh, so everyone can catch heat. But Japan has said that they're willing to negotiate. The EU is willing to negotiate, like Vietnam, Cambodia. Some countries are willing to negotiate currently. And it's almost an antagonistic. We'll see if what we can get to see if China wants to come to the table. A lot of people have said China won't come to the table; they'll die on this hill. So we just become a there's a market open. We'll go ahead and watch that here. You notice everything just went pretty much just red. Again, to be expected. Yeah, Costco here percent wise is that kind of neutral. So I've kind of told my family and others about look at stuff like Costco, Walmart, um, as like havens around this because you kind of know those aren't going anywhere anytime soon, especially Costco, right? If you're looking for an inflationary narrative and plays in an inflationary narrative, then that would be advantageous for you. Go take a peek over at it, right? Nice little rally in Costco. The rest of the market is so we'll zoom in here, bring it to the front of the classroom, get rid of this, get out of the way. Thank you. Hippo moves as follows. We do have this level of 480, 44.8, excuse me. Um, there's going to be some profit taking, some day traders, people that, just got a little extended. And then so we just kind of wait, see if we get a candle wash here at -2. Yeah, we'll see. Then we zoom in here on the price action on the 10 minute. That really hasn't really expanded away from the moving averages quite just yet. So we will see. would I be looking for to go bearish or bullish? You're kind of in no man's land. So a lot of this game is being patient and kind of waiting for your pitch. Um, the pattern right now is descending. So you're looking kind of bearish. You notice you're making lower lows. You're pulling into the wave, but kind of getting rejected several times. One, two, three, four. Right. So you got the selling pressure building here at this 452 level, and would want to see a retest of that. The upside, excuse me, as soon as I start talking, it's like, oh, it's time to yawn. I'd want to see it break a structure, right? I want to see it break this peak here, pre-market level. But then you got resistance here. So ideally, it's break here, and then we'll see what happens. Break, retest, and then push. If we get that, it could be a choppy day. If you go back to like 2000, 2004, we would see this. We would see like massive runs, and then like a couple, like a day or a day or two of choppy action. Okay, just because yesterday was a big wallop doesn't mean today is going to be a follow through day. People are going to take pause, wait for news, and see what happens. The VIX is, I think, at 35. Let's see if it's down. Yeah, it's at 35. Let's go look at the VIX here. Not gonna stay there too long. Yeah, insane pressure. VIX clocking up here in almost unprecedented levels in recent. I mean, you're talking nearly COVID levels, right? So that much VIX. I think the highest is 85. That was COVID, and this is 60. So really high stuff, man. That is insane. Market really doesn't like tariffs. They're like, yo, like the tariffs gotta go. Somebody do something about it. But yeah, being down 2.6% this morning is just puts a gap. Just puts a gap there. So that's also something that's in play. You got the gap, really to the downside. So you got a gap going on. You have to fill that gap. Yeah, so at this stage, you see it sell off. You see the green candle there, pretty much followed by the opening two red candles. That's really positive for the bulls. The only thing negative for the bulls is you're below view up, number one. Number two, downtrend. You need to break structure. So I would not even look to be thinking about taking a trade until you break structure, right? You make new structure out here, and then you start looking more bullish, or you break current structure, which is that on the Q side of things, 458, 54. That's where I would want to see a break structure. Yeah, the real work begins. Yeah, we got a 90-day pause, but is the market gonna kind of accept that? And to be fair, right? From the video we put out yesterday, me and Q, the aspect we're just gonna bring to the front of the classroom here. The aspect of the market being this low, you ideally would want the market to be this low. If you're looking to be a long-term buyer and you're not retired or anything like that, buying these lows is kind of what you want to do. Finding every ounce of capital that you could spare, and then getting into this market is good. Not looking to throttle off or anything like that, because even if right, um, the plan is actually a pretty decent plan. If you get woes with the tariffs, right? It'll induce quick fear, right? As we saw, right? 60 in the VIX, right? As a fear indicator, uh, induce quick fears, but it has a potential to subside itself very quickly, which has upside for the U.S. economy anyway. If companies or countries want to do business, then uh, if they negotiate, it'll probably be for zero tariffs, which means that you can sell potentially your goods in the United States, right? Cheaper, better goods, and American manufacturers can sell their goods in foreign countries. That's good for everybody. It's a win-win, which increases the amount of goods transported, which increases GDPs all across the board. That's a W. Now, where we get hung up at is if let's say necessarily for tariffs, right? If they do go forward, right? If people want to do business, well, reciprocal tariffs mean that we have goods and services that you want, that you're going to be passing on that cost to consumers, and vice versa. Um, to me, all that signals is well lower GDPs and protectionism. But eventually, companies do shake that through. What do I mean? They find alternatives. They find comparative products and services. They kind of adapt, right? Adapt their business models. Really do. You see some companies buying stuff early to kind of front run these tariffs. And if they release the tariffs, then they're going to have a surplus, which means, oh man, we get to sell these things on the cheap because we have way more. So it's good for everybody. Right now, like in the preliminary stages, it's kind of not the worst thing that could happen. It's not the best thing that could happen. That's for sure. Certainly not the best thing. But watching this price action continually be bearish is or a bearish neutral is we'll just watch it. The market might just be rotational today, so um, that's a possibility too. And I say that as it breaks to the downside on me. Look at that. You got to think these are pretty wide candles as well. They're not tai chi. So if you're a scalper, these pullbacks in a VWAP look nice. A good look for that. But we're kind of waiting for our setup. Something that's a little bit more defined. This right here. This is kind of what we like to trade. Um, Comes in, nice green candle up a VWAP, getting washed by immediately a red candle for some follow through. 2 to 5 candles, nothing too crazy. This setup right here, also on one of ours, same thing on the reverse side, comes down, you got red right here, and then immediately getting washed. It's like 2 standard deviations, whatever. What next pivot, whatever. So we just kind of be patient for trades that we like to take. see if we can get some footing here. Um, Footing at 448.66. It's kind of where I'm waiting for it to get down to. Stab it back to that VWAP there. Could be a good opportunity for sellers. No setup for us though, so um, I don't know how other people trade, but a nice little tap, retest. It's done a couple times. There might be more sellers in the tank. There they go. Nice little slap down. Let's see if the buyers are defiant. It's gonna have to be patient. I just love this system. Isolates out the important data and then brings it right to the front of the class. I love it. Candle closes in 6 seconds. It's pretty bearish right there. Look at that. Close of candle, new candle. Pretty bearish candle, if I don't say so myself. But you never know. Could be wrong. Yeah, tested view up again. So yeah, now we just wait. I'll take a nice 2% pop in gold. We'll take that, even though it's at highs. To GC. Is that relative highs? things. Yeah, real choppy action. Doesn't mean it's going to stay this way all day. Um, we don't get really a thrust or a push to the downside. If it stays between that range of 460 and 448, I would be content. And it's definitely well within that possibility. I mean, you got to think this thing absolutely ran a harrowing marathon yesterday. So a lot of capital was deployed at a really good price. I don't think there's going to be too much immediate follow on like right after you deploy all that capital. I mean, the just getting in at the lows, and you got to think too where you're buying. If you're sitting on the sidelines waiting for this news, um, 540, right? 540 is the high, and you're all the way as low as which appears to be like 400, 400 to 402, right? So to put things in perspective, right, $54 is basically 10%. You multiply that by two, essentially you drop $100, give or take, $8, whatever. The market pretty much, for the most part, dropped just shy of 20%. Um, so when you consider that you're getting a 20% discount on some of the best names that you can think of, right, is pretty harrowing. Companies get excited if they gain, 12%, but you're almost locking in a 20% gain if you believe the market recovers. Could be in a couple years, could be 3, 4 years, but it could happen. Yeah, I'm expecting a choppy day for today. Not too much volatility going on relative to what it was yesterday and the day before yesterday. Pretty defined thrust moves up or down. Um, so yeah. So right now, nothing too crazy. But yeah, we'll go ahead and call it here, guys. Thank you guys so much for tapping in with me this morning. It wasn't as eventful. We kind of at least want to catch some of the action. We put out on Monday, hey, or day before that. I think it was Monday. Buy now or get left behind. Kind of the idea of, don't let this opportunity pass you, especially long term in stocks. So, yeah, yeah. Buy now or get left behind. You guys, appreciate you, and we'll tap on with you soon. Later, peace.